This conference
Right.
will now be recorded.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I epic, and then after that is epic, and then feature, and then story, task. Right.
Yeah.
So these are
Yeah.
yeah. So where is the story point?
Okay. So let's say that you are in a meeting, you are in a sprint planning meeting. So what we do in a sprint planning meeting?
In a sprint planning meeting, we are trying to plan the upcoming sprint, like how to make the best out of, like, to organize it the best way possible so that everybody can meet their commitments,
Mm-hmm.
whatever is assigned to each individual, they can commit to
Mm-hmm.
that. So they will all have a small task assigned to them.
Okay. So basically, like in the sprint planning meeting, the developers or even the testers, they will take the task from the backlog, right, and
Right, right.
put it in the current sprint, right, to work on that.
Right. Mhm.
Now, how they will mention that how many days it will take to complete that task. For example, the developer needs to develop one small feature. For example, like sign-in feature. So that sign-in feature to complete that, it's gonna take around like 3 days. For example, it will take around 3 days to complete that task. So
Okay.
how the developer will let the team know that how many days it will take?
How the developer will know how many days it will take? I don't know.
Yeah, how,
How?
the developer will no, developer will assume that how much time it will take. Developer will assume the time. So sometimes
Right.
it takes less than that, sometimes it might take more than that, but developer have to assume that how much time that task need to the task will take to complete, right?
Right.
Now to let the team know, okay, let's say that I'm a developer and I took one task from the sprint backlog and I need
Hmm.
to work on that. And I thought that this task is going to take like 3 days to complete. Now that I need to let the team know that this task is basically will take 3 days to complete.
Okay.
Okay. So how I will them know? By using the story points. So when I will take the task, I will also assign a story point on that task. Like, let's say that for 3 days, it will be like two story points.
Hmm. Okay.
For one
Okay.
day or less than one day, it will be like one story point. For 2 days or 3 days, it will be like three story point. For like 4 or 5 days, it will be like three story points. So the story point depends on the project, depends on the team, how they will take that. Sometimes I saw that sometimes the teams story points are from 1 to 5. Sometimes they're doing it from 1 to 8. So it depends.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So you got the idea. So what is the story point is, right?
Yeah, I got pretty much idea. I mean, like, still not 100% clear on it, but I mean, like, I believe that, once we start working on it in real world, we'll know better. But yeah, now I got it a little bit. Yes, of course.
But
Um,
let me check if I can show you something real quick. So you can see my screen, right?
yes.
So
Yeah, it,
here,
mhm.
go ahead.
No, and I said it always helps when you give real examples. That way we understand it better. So yeah, that would be nice if you can give us an example.
Yes, I'm trying to give it to you.
Right. Thank you.
Um, so when you are creating a task, at that time you can also mention that what will be the story point is, like how much time it's gonna take. So let me check if I can switch it to task. Story points. not here. This one is not here. Let me check in my story. Usually, it's kind of like here you will see one of the thing like text box, kind of like summary. Instead of summary, it will be like story point, and that story
Okay.
point you have to mention that like 2, 3, 5 depends on the task, depends on the complexity of the task. So right now I
Okay.
don't
Okay.
have any field like that,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
I will try to create one field that will be like for a story point. But usually I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that I will be able to get that. But I will try to do that. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So
So it's basically to detect how many days it's going to take, right?
how many days or how much time it's gonna take to complete the task?
It will take. Okay. 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 That's fine. I think I got it. So
Which,
let's move on to the next one. Yeah. It's the next one was the verification and validation.
okay,
Validation,
I
right?
will come to that. I will come to that one like after like couple of slides. Well, when I start, so it's in there.
Okay.
You to just
Okay. 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 Okay.
and
All
then
right. Okay, the last one was difference between system and end-to-end testing. They kind of sound the same to me. So how are they different?
is kind of like same, but in only one place it might be differ, and the difference is in end-to-end test. We always say that it's also involved a database, like where your data is. You have to verify that from your backend.
Mm-hmm.
That is end-to-end test, and in
Mm-hmm.
system test, you are testing your whole application together. So you are not checking. It's not like mandatory. You have to check the database as well.
Okay, okay. So the only difference is the database. In
Is that it?
end-to-end, we do the database, but in system, we don't do the database, right?
Mhm. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, okay. That should be good enough. Okay, thank you. Then you can move on. No problem.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem. So, is there anyone have any problem or any issue that we need to talk before we start? No one have any issue? Okay, so is there anyone who can help me to do one quick stand up, daily stand up? I just need to know three things, and you already know these three questions. Anyone can go and answer these three questions. That's fine. I don't want to answer to all of you to answer that because some of you might not like might shy to like answer that question. So it is fine. Whoever wants to go, just go, and let's say that today is your stand up and meeting going on, and then you have to give some update. Anyone wants to go with that? No. Okay, let's say that you are in a stand up. So in a stand up, usually you have to answer three questions. That what you did yesterday. Basically, the stand up usually it happened around like in the morning time between like 10 to 12 because the team members there some team members come around like 9:30 or 10, so usually they keep the time at like at 10, 10:30 or 9:30 even sometimes, so it depends on the team. So usually they have that time so that they start the day with understanding what they did yesterday, what they are going to do today, and if there is any roadblock or not. So let's say that yesterday I started my this task. For example, I started working on this login issue. Not yeah, login issue. So I have completed that one. So that's why I put that in testing so that any tester can go ahead and test that one. So I'm talking about as like a developer perspective. But if you want, you can also understand that in testing as well. So I developed this one. This test task is done, and then I put that in testing. Now it's in testing status, so any testers can go ahead and then test this task. And today my target is to complete this story again. In another story that is also in like user login issue. So I'm working. I need to work on that. And right now I don't have any roadblocker. Okay. So this is the way how you will give the update. So if I'm talking, if I need to talk in the perspective of tester, then I will say that yesterday I have tested this login issue. I tested like login issue task. So for this one, I have tested a couple of scenarios. Like not only one scenario you will test. Remember that you are a tester. A good tester always tests all different possibilities. Okay, you have to think. They will give you enough time to think. For this one, if you take 1 day to complete that task, it's fine, because you are thinking different scenarios. It's not like you already have the scenarios. You are thinking about the scenarios. How can I test this one? How can I test in a way that I can break the system? I can break this. This task will fail. So you have to think. So let's say that if they give you this task and after an hour you say that I'm done with this task, I'm done with the testing, so they will think that you are not a compatible like tester, you are not like good tester, because you just have you might have like tested only one scenario, but in other scenarios it might fail. So you also have to think that way, because testers job is to test. Developer always like develop the system. They will only do the unit testing. That's it. Okay. So what I was talking about this one. So I was testing this one, this login issue. I didn't find any issue. So most probably I will like put this task in a done status after I complete one of the. I have one of the scenario to test. After that, I do that. I will put that in a done status. And after that, I have a plan to start working on this user information storage testing on this task. Okay. And right now, I don't have any node blocker. That's it. Can anyone tell me what is parking lot?
Parking lot is like you have your daily scrum and it's supposed to be 15 minutes. Any issue outside that can take longer discussion, that should be in the parking lot, which is offline, needs to be discussed, or if there any resolution that need to be done.
Yes, that is correct. Okay, so this is like some basics that we have practiced today. Then let's go. Let's move forward to our remaining slides. I believe today is the last day of our manual, and also today is the day that I will give you some idea about the automation, some basic information about the automation, and if we get enough time, then we will start installing the software. Okay. Okay. So let's. So we did it until this point, right? So in the defect life cycle. Defect lifecycle is very important concept, and there is like high possibility of getting a question in interview on this defect lifecycle. Okay. Okay. So here one thing is you have to check, that is when you find an issue, when you find a defect, then developer need to work on that, right? Once the developer worked on that, then developer fix that issue. Once the developer fix that issue, you have to test that again, right? So that's why we have retested here, right? Now based on this one, we have one concept called retesting versus regression testing. Can anyone tell me what is regression testing is? Regression testing, You already forgot everything?
Regression testing is after you have it's a test to check the new development or new addition are not hampering the existing ones.
Mm, yeah, that is correct. That is correct. So basically, if there is a new feature, new development is coming, so when you are testing that, you also have to test all of your previous functionalities are working or not, and that is why we have it. That is we call regression testing. Yes, Onyx. So it's a retesting after that the requirement. Um, Retesting. That's why we have two different words here, right? Two different topic here. That is one is retesting and another is regression testing. So regression testing, that what Shafi mentioned here. So we perform the regression testing when there is a new feature or new things come up, and then we have to check if the previous functionality is working fine or not, right? So that's why we have this regression testing. And retesting concept comes on when you are testing the bug fix again. Then it's come to this retesting. Okay, so retesting is when you find a bug and when you log that bug and developer fix that bug, and then you have to test that again to see if that bug still is there or not in the system or not. So you have to test that again. So instead of calling that as a tester again, you call that as retesting.
So then what is the difference between a retesting and a sanity testing?
Retesting, like sanity test, is kind of like they're like you find that defect, find that bug in your current sprint, but the developer didn't fix that now. Developer didn't get a chance, or developers thought that okay, so because it's something not related to my current sprint, the current release, so I'll fix that later. So they can do that. So in that case, when you are testing that again in future, then we call that as a sanity test. But for the retesting, when you are testing that bug fix again within the same sprint, it's confusing.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say that you are in a sprint tree. Okay, in any release like a release 6 sprint tree. Okay, this is your position. Now place your position in the sprint tree, and now you find a defect. And when you find the defect, you talk to the developer, you log that defect, and then the developer started working on that, and developer fixed that issue. Now you need to test that again, right?
Yes.
Okay. When you are testing that, then you are doing retesting.
Yeah, that makes sense. But
That
then, yeah, then it
I'm
sounds
coming.
like, yeah,
I'm
isn't like you looking at the definition of sanity testing, it is like whenever uh, it's testing the new edition also after fixing that it's not affecting the existing ones, right?
yes. So I'm coming to that point. So
Okay,
this is retesting, right? So you got that retesting.
right.
Now let's say one is release 6, sprint 3, and now you find a defect, and that defect is not like impacting the functionality of your application. Let's say. So that the defect you found is like a very minor defect, like a typo mistake or something like that. Let's say. It's a very minor. And developer thought that okay, so this is a very minor thing, so I will do that in next sprint, in sprint 4. I don't have enough bandwidth, so I don't have enough time to do that right now. I'll do it later. So what they will do, you already created that defect, the bug. Now in sprint review meeting, they will talk about that and they will forward that defect to the sprint 4. Am I right?
Right.
Okay. Now in sprint 4, when they have done, when the bug fix is done, then you have to test it again, right?
Right.
So in that case, we call that as a sanity test because there is a bug fix you have tested.
Right.
So that's, in that kind of situation, we call that as a sanity test.
Okay.
And retesting is only for the bug fixing. That is correct, Nashita. So retesting is only for bug testing, like bug is fixed or not.
Okay.
Is it
Okay.
little clear
Yes. Yes.
now? Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. So this is all about like what is retesting is and what is regression testing is, and you already have the idea about the regression testing. Remember that you need to know this kind of testing, the definition of this testing, not like a reading from book. You, if you make by your own answers, that is also fine. Like you need to know sanity testing, smoke testing, regression testing, functional testing, then integration testing, system testing, UAT testing. Okay, so you need to know the definitions of these testings. Okay, so now this is the so-called definition, so that we already have like discussed, right? So retesting, also known as plant testing, is used for a specific bug after the developer have fixed them. Retesting is executed to check the scenario under the exact environment requirements after detection have been fixed. Okay, so this is the like definition of the retesting. But if you want to make your own, like what is retesting is also fine. And now one more confusing terms that might confuse you when in the interview also, that AUT and UAT. This is very confusing term. You already know about the UAT, right? Is there anyone who doesn't understand this UAT? No one, right? So everyone understand this UAT. What is this UAT is, and who perform this testing, where we perform this testing, right? There is another term we use, that is AUT. AUT full form is application under test. Application under test. Okay. So simply, if you want to remember, in SDLC we have a different phases, right? Requirement gathering, requirement analysis, design, then development, testing, then deployment and maintenance, right? So in all these phases, there is one phase that is testing, right? So when your application is in that phase, so basically when your application start, it is initially it start with the analysis, the gathering the requirements and analysis. Then someone perform the design, like architects, they perform the design thing on the requirement, and based on the design, developer develop that application, and then your task is to test that, right? So your task is to test that. When you are testing it, at the time your application is in test environment, right? So when it's in test environment, we call that as application under test. So the application under test is very simple, like it's a phase where your application is right now. If your application is in the testing phase, then we call that as an application under test. That means that when you are performing testing, so you are performing in application under test. After the designing and coding phase of the development cycle, when the application comes under the testing cycle, then that time application state is test. State is under test. So at that time, the application build is called, or application state is called application under test. So it's very common that you will forget this term AUT, and you might be thinking it's very difficult to remember. But if you understand that UAT, it is also fine. Just remember that where you are testing it. That's it. If you are testing it in a in a stage, in a phase where you're supposed to test, that is application test, because you are testing in testing phase. Okay. Any question here? Okay. So this is one second. Something. Give me a sec. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so this is the two terms now. Here is the place that you are making confused, right? You are confused. It is verification and validation. So it's, which is very obvious that you will be in a you are in a trouble, if you get a question on what is verification and what is validation. Let's say anyone can answer this question. So let's say that I own a business, and then I want to create, let's say that I'm a restaurant owner, and then I want someone to develop my restaurant website. Now I hired one software company to develop this website. When I give them my requirement, I say that I need a restaurant website, and when they deliver that, they deliver it to let's say that, for example, like Walmart website. It's kind of like a online shopping website. So is this the right thing that I asked for? Anyone?
Can you repeat, please?
Okay. So I'm a restaurant owner and I want someone to develop a website for me, like restaurant website, and I already gave them my requirement. Now, when it's come for the output, the what is called for deliver the product, they gave me a online website, online portal website that is to order some like dresses or something like that. It's not right. It's not the correct product they're supposed to give me. They're supposed to create a restaurant website that I asked for. So exactly the same thing you have to understand here when you understand these two questions here about the verification and validation. So verification is like, am I building the product right? So this is the verification. So you are performing the verification. You are checking it. You are checking for example, there is a story. I'm a restaurant owner and I asked them to add pizza option in the menu, in the header, in the header menu. I want them to want one option for pizza. Now that based on that, they will create a story. They will create a task, right, in their system, in their in the project. And based on that, some developer will work on the tester will also perform some testing that if the pizza menu is there or not, right? Am I right? Okay. So because I provided my requirement, and based on that, the developer worked on that, and the tester tested on the tested that the feature, the functionality, and I'm getting the right product. In that case, I will say that is a verification. that you are checking as a tester, you are checking that if you are making the product right or not. I'm asking for pizza in the menu. Did you added the pizza or not? So you are doing the verification here. Now come to that validation. In the validation, you can just think, I asked for the pizza and they added sandwich. But in my restaurant, I don't have any sandwich option. So what happened in that case? Who is wrong here? Can anyone tell me? So I asked them to add pizza in that menu, but they delivered me with the option adding that sandwich in that menu. The deliver, the deliver, deliver means that Anik, why you are taking the responsibility on your head? This is not like you should not take that responsibility, right? Your task is to test that, right? If you say that you are wrong in that place, they will ask you, okay, why did you make this wrong? Why didn't you tell us before? So yes, that is the thing that who is going to talk with that person, like with me, to get that requirement? Who is taking the order? So who is taking the order? That's the question. So someone is getting the requirement from me, right? I'm the product owner. I'm the not the product owner. I'm the client. I'm the client, and I want to develop something, and I already provided the requirement. So who is the person is responsible here? Yes, now see the kind of like also kind of Safin also kind of they are responsible because their job is to get the requirement, and based on the requirement, developer will create the story, developer will create the task, and based on that story and task, tester will test it, right? It's very simple. So here verification is kind of like you are checking that you are making that system correctly or not, and in validation you are checking if you are building the correct product or not. That's the only difference. You
So
got that?
now these verification and validation, like
Mhm.
like all through the SDLC or SDLC that we do, sanity, smoke, integration, regression testing. So could these be falling under verification, and at the end all the system and end to end and all those testing are falling in the validation? Is that right or no?
Yes,
I'm not
yes,
right.
that is correct. So if you see this picture here, in verification all these testings comes inside there,
Oh, I
like
haven't seen that picture yet, actually. Okay, so that's good. Okay,
yeah,
I didn't pay
the
attention to that.
unit test, integration test, automation testing, regression testing, system testing, beta testing, or like semi testing, all this comes under this verification.
I
And
see. Okay, okay.
in
Hmm.
validation part, we
Hmm.
validate that if that customer acceptance is like UAT, user acceptance testing, usability testing, they also perform this system testing, regression testing under this validation part. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I get it now. So its verification is from the beginning, a continuation, and validation is towards the end, right?
Yes, yes, that is
Yeah.
correct.
Okay, got it, got it. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so any other question? Do you have any other question on this verification and validation? Okay. If you don't have any questions, so right now I don't have this image for V model. Then in SDLC we also have one more model like Agile, Waterfall. We have one more model that is called V model. Usually, in the project they don't use that, but sometimes if they use that and if you need to work on that, if you just understand that what is this about, and you will be able to work on that, because for each and every phase they have a corresponding validation phase. Okay, so right now let me check if I have it in previous slides. V model, do I have it? V model, I don't think so. I don't think so. I have this B model here, but because B model is not like that much in use, that's why I didn't keep that here. But what I will do is I will add that slide here, and after that I will pass this slide to all of you. Okay. I didn't share it with anyone yet, but I will share it with all of you. Okay, so let's then begin again here. So this is the difference. So there's the details difference, that what is the verification is, what is the validation is. Okay, so if it's like it checks whether the software meets the specification or not, and here in validation part we check that whether the specification captures the customer's need or not. So it's the same thing, like if I'm giving something and you are not working on that, you are on something else, that is like part of the validation. But whatever I'm giving you and you are performing the testing based on that, you are doing the task, that is verification. So it is a type of static testing and dynamic testing. So it's I have to go through all of this instead of let me get something like important things here. Uh, So here, if you see here in this part, it defines the bugs, errors early in the development process. So when you are testing it, so you will find the defects, you will find the bugs. But when you are checking when you are doing the validation part, it can identify the bugs that the verification process cannot catch. So it's after the testing is done, and if after it's in UAT or in production, only in that phase it might get that bug or errors. It is performed before the validation process, that we know with this picture, and this is performed after the verification process. Okay, so these are the basic difference. If you just talk about these couple of things, then it will be fine. And most importantly, in the verification, if you just mention these two questions and mention this testing, what testing falls under this verification and what testing falls under this validation, then you are fine. Then the interviewer will know that you have a good idea on the verification and validation. Okay. Okay, so we're done with the manual. Now we are proceeding into that testing, automation testing part. Okay, but to go into that automation part, we need to know something about that automation, some part of the automation, the basic, and then we'll start our hands-on. So especially from next session, we will not follow any slides, only hands-on practice. Okay. Okay, so this is why okay, so let me ask you one thing. Let's say that you are working in a factory. Okay, in that factory they are producing spoon. Let's say it's a spoon. Okay, so you're the person who will check the quality of the spoon, and based on that it will send to the market based on your testing. Now when you are in a place, you are testing that, how many spoons you can check in a day. Take any number. Any number is fine. Let's say that 500 spoons. Okay, so when you are testing that 500 spoons, so in between that whole day you are taking break, and there is a possibility like you make mistake and some of the spoons would have like defect. You are passing that for the production and then send it to the customers, right? So yeah, they are packing that after your testing is done. So that is kind of like you are doing manually. You are checking each and every spoon. Now, in the case of automation, let's say that I have created a machine, and in that machine, if you just put the spoon, it will automatically verify that if that spoon is perfectly shaped or not, got the same color or not, the size is same or not, its curve is as expected or not. So it will check all these possibilities of the testing. Now tell me that when you were testing it manually, it was like a 500 spoon per day, which is like 8 hours job. Now when I place that the machine, that how much time it will take to test that 500 spoon? Okay, Safrin, I didn't see your answer yet. Before you said 100, but let's say that not less, right? So that's mean that this 500 spoon can be checked in like maybe a couple of hours, maybe. So we can save our time, right? We can save our time. Now, when you are in a place, you are testing, then I also have to pay you. I also have to pay you like a monthly salary. And that is kind of like ongoing process. Every year I'm paying you almost like $100,000 to doing that. Now, if I buy that machine and then put that in your place, it will, it's just like a one-time investment, right? It's just kind of like one-time investment I have to do. Like for example, like I'm buying that for 50,000, but after a year I'll be benefited. I will be in a place that I'll be saving like $50,000, right? So it's also kind of like save of money. Am I right? Okay. How many of you got this idea like of doing this example? Is there anyone who didn't understand this example or didn't understand that what we are talking about? No? Okay. Okay, if you don't have any problem, then let's go back to the slide and let's see that what is the difference between manual and automation. So mostly you have to focus, your main focus should be on automation because right now most of the requirements you will see with the automation, but because manual scope is very low right now, out of like 100 requirement, you'll see 90% requirements will be like with the automation. They're asking for the automation. Sometimes you'll see only manual, that is kind of like a government project or healthcare project. Sometimes they will ask for manual also, but I will prefer if you put your more focus on automation. But don't think that they will not ask you anything from here. Yes, that's true. They will ask less questions from here if you are applying as like automation tester, but your focus should be in automation, learning the automation and working in automation. Now, this is the one. So this is the difference between the manual testing and automation testing. Accuracy. In case of accuracy, that I already told you that there is a possibility like you might miss one of the spoon. Now it's in the production, now it's in the customer hand, and when the customer saw that, then they will think that this is not a good product. They are making this kind of product which is not good, which is not, doesn't have a good shape or good color. So next time I'll not come to that this company to buy this spoon, right? So in that case they will lose money. So that's the thing, it may not accurate always, but when you create a script, that script is saying it will run the same thing again and again. It doesn't matter that how many times you run it, right? So it will run the same script, the same testing again and again, because you are running that automation script. It's a kind of like a machine, you're running a machine. Simple. Testing time, as I said, that whatever the job you are doing before, like in 8 hours, the machine can take like do that in a couple of hours, like 2 hours maybe maximum. So time consuming, as tester has to check everything manually. And in automation testing is faster as it operates on tools, because when you run that automation, then your job is done. Now you have to sit back and wait for the report. That's it. When your automation script writing is done, then you just need to run it. Once you run it, then you just need to check the report, that how many got passed, how many got failed, why it get failed. You can find it also. Investment. Investment is required in terms of hiring testers. So it's a huge amount of money they have to pay for the manual tester. And investment is required in terms of purchasing tools. So in case in automation, they need to just purchase tools. And also, if you're thinking that is costly, I don't think so, because Java is open source. The automation tool Selenium is also open source. So GitHub is also open source. Almost a lot of things are free, so they need to invest like very less money, like if they need to run that in a remote server or something like that. In that kind of like, if they want to keep their data like private, they might need to upgrade the GitHub, like the place they want to keep the code, like with that like premium option or something like that. But mostly it's free, like Java, like where you are writing the code, that the application, it's also free. Then programming, no programming reports, because a manual tester doesn't need to know any programming. But for automation, they definitely need to know the programming, because they have to program. Like when you are making the machine, how does that machine know that they have to check the size? That machine needs to check the size, need to check the color, need to check the shape, right? So there is something, some programming is there. But don't worry, you will be a tester, so you don't need to learn the programming as like a developer. You just need to learn the basic concept of the programming and how to write the automation script. Okay. Then user interface is, testers have to check the user friendliness to application. And here in automation, testers don't need to pay attention to UI as they use automated tools. Let's say that you have to click something, right? So when you are here in this page, let me open that again. So here you need to check that where this place is, this sign in button is, and you have to go and click there as a manual tester. But when you are programming, when you are doing automation testing, the automation testing will find this sign in automatically in this page. We'll see that how we do that. So it will find automatically this sign in, and then it will click on that. So mostly we, as a manual tester, we also have to think about that outlook of this application. But in automation, they really don't care about that, because they just need to run and check everything is working fine or not. Okay. Reliability. So you are a human being, so there is a possibility like you will make a mistake, right? So human dependency factor limits it to be named as reliable. And here automation testing is comparatively more reliable, because there is a very less chance of making any mistake in this automation, right? Because the script is same, the application is same, you just need to run it. That's it. When everything is developed, when you are done with all of your automation script, then someone needs to go and just click on that run button. That's it. It will run and then give you that report. Regression testing, this is the important thing that you have to include in your answer, that automation testing basically you need for regression testing also. Because in regression, if it's a very big application or complex project, then your regression test cases might be like, for example, 200, 500, or 1000. So if it is like 500 test cases that you have to perform as like a manual tester, it's gonna take like a week, more than a week maybe, because it's a lots of work. But because it's if you do the automation and that regression, then it will take only a couple of hours to complete all these test cases. Got it? And budget. So budget is not like important, less expensive if considered for one time or short time goal. So if you are thinking that if your project is very for a short term project, then you can also hire manual tester to test the functionality. Or a small project, just for a couple of months, like 6 months or something, then it's fine. But if it's a long project, then you should have like go for the automation. And expensive as it requires purchasing tools, yet reasonable for long term. So as I said that not all the tools you have to purchase, and some companies they already have these tools. They don't need to purchase anything. Big companies they already have these tools. You just need to go and install from their software. Okay, so any question from here? Because there is a possibility they might ask you the what is the advantages of automation testing. Okay, so in that case, you have to answer the advantages of automation testing. Like it will save time, it will save money, it is more accurate. Then mostly we can use it for regression testing. If you have a lot of regression tests we have to perform. Okay, so these are the basic advantages we have for automation testing. Any question here? Okay, so we don't have any question here until now. Till this point, we don't have question. That's mean that you are good to go to here this line. So in this course, we'll learn all these things here. Whatever you see here, we'll learn all of these things. We'll learn Java, the basic of Java, like how you will write the program, what are the basic concepts at least you need to write the script to. Okay, one of the things that I need to mention here, that is when you are performing the testing, when you have a like testing document and you are performing the testing, that is a test case document, and we say that as a test case. But when you convert that test case in automation, we call that as test script. Okay, so two things: test case and test script. And the difference is test case is for manually and test script is for automation. Okay, so we just need to learn about the Java, like to write the script only, not automation script. Not as like we'll learn for as like a developer, but still I will give you some idea. Like if you need to like extend your what is called learning, then I will give you some other extra task. I can give you some other information where you can go and practice for that one. Okay, but other than that, the basic will be fine. And then this is the tool. SE means Selenium. This is the tool that we will be using with the Java to automate our website, to perform the automation testing. So one of the things that usually I tell people that don't call this Selenium as a tool, because Selenium is a library. We'll understand about this library later, but right now, if you understand only the Selenium we're going to use in Java, so that we can automate our test cases. Okay. Then Git is the place where we'll keep our code. We will not all the time we'll keep our code in our machine, because let's say that you are hired in a project, and in that project you also have one more there is like one more automation tester. If you have like more than one tester or more than one developer, we need something so that we can share our code, and this is the thing the Git will use to share our code. Then this is a Maven. The Maven is a build tool. We'll learn all of this thing, but I'm just giving you the basic. Okay, don't afraid of this all these things. These are very big names, but when you practice, it will be very like easy thing. So Maven is a build tool. Based on that, we will create our project. Jenkins is the remote server. We call that remote server. Why? Because if you need to run your test in your local, it might take a long time, and in that time you might be sitting idle. You might not be doing anything. So instead of doing that, you can run your automation in some other computer, in the remote, in somewhere else, and that's why we need this Jenkins. Jenkins can do that for us. TestNG is a testing tool that we will use to test our um, to perform our testing on application. So this is the one TestNG and Cucumber. Okay, these two things that we'll use. Um, Most probably you will like this Cucumber. Cucumber is much easier than TestNG, but at least you need to know one of these, at least. Okay, so if you understand TestNG, good, it's fine. If you understand both, which is very good. If you understand only Cucumber, which is also better. Like right now, most of the project they are looking for who knows that Cucumber. Okay, so this is the one, and then as I said that we are going to learn Java. That's mean that as a programming language, we will have to work on this Java, not in any other programming language. But these are the also some other programming languages we can use. But right now we don't have this C, C++. Right now we only have, we can work on this Java, Python, JavaScript, C Sharp. And we can also use this Selenium in Java, Python, C Sharp. There is a way that you can use that Selenium in different programming languages. It supports. Okay, so JavaScript and TypeScript, they have like different one. It's called protector. So different like automation tool, but we are not going to learn that. Okay, now what is
So,
Java? Yes,
so C, yeah, just a quick question. So, did you say that the C++ and the C is not needed?
no, we don't
Things
need this. No.
things can be done without those, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay, okay, good. Thank you.
no problem. Are you thinking to learn this too? like programming.
No, no, the less the better. That's what I'm trying to. The less the better.
So the thing is, you don't need to learn any other programming language except this Java. And if you have anything, any basic idea about the any programming language, that means that you know that the concept is same, the syntax is different.
Hmm,
Concept
okay.
means that there will be like a condition, there will be like a loop, like everything is almost same, but the syntax is different. How you're writing it is different. Let's say that we have a different people from different countries, right?
Hmm.
We're talking the same thing, but let's say that I want to do the dinner or I want to take something. So we are talking about the same thing, but in different language. So the syntax is different, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
in
Hmm.
programming, it's also same. The concept is same, but the syntax is different.
Right, right. No, no, that's fine. The less the better. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so the benefits of Java. So why we will choose this Java instead of any other programming language, right? Some programming languages are also free, but mostly that in the requirement you will see the Java because most of the projects they are using Java. So they prefer if you know Java or C Sharp. Sometimes you will see some projects and they are using Python. It's fine. If you know how to work with Java, you can also work with the Python. Okay. If they see that you don't have any experience on Python, but you know Java very good, like very well, then they will give you enough time to understand Python. Okay, so benefits. Strong coding base and security features. So we'll learn that how you can write the codes and how can you keep that secure. Then code reusability, you can use the same code in different places. For example, if you write any code in your computer, you can use that for future use, or you can also share that code to me with me, and then I can use that as well in my computer. Then runs on any platform. That I just said, any platform means that let's say that you are using Mac and I'm using Windows. So you are writing that Java code in your machine, and you send that code to me. I can run that same code in my machine. So usually what happens? So in Windows software, so if we download any software, in for Mac people, they cannot use the same software. They cannot use that. They cannot install that software, right? Because for Mac they have a different extension, different application type, right? That's why they cannot do that. But in case of Java, because you're creating something, some classes. We'll come to that one later. Whatever you are creating, you can share with me, even though if I am using different operating system. And the operating system means like Windows, Linux, Mac. Okay, these are like different operating systems we have. No explicit points, no security threats and risk. So they're like it's very secure. So if you follow that the concept in Java, like OOP concept, then it will be very secure, like application, and no one will be able to break that. Can perform multiple tasks simultaneously. So yes, you can do that. You can code in that ways so that it will perform multiple tasks. Open source and has a large community. As I said, that Java is free, even though it's now under Oracle, but it's still free. You can download that. You can install in your computer. You can use that. Okay, and it has a large community. So if you find any issue, like if you are facing any issue, just go online, search in Google. Either you will find that issue, like the solution online, or there will be like some forums or some blog out there. You can just paste your question, and then they will answer your question. So it's an open community, and you also don't need to pay for that. Any question here? No? Okay. So before I move into the next slide, I want to ask you, how many of you are using Mac? Anyone? That's a very good thing, because if you are using Mac, then usually I get in a trouble, because people are not able to share their screen, sometimes not able to share their give control that keyboard and mouse, and also sometimes there are like a lot of issues. They have a different application they have to install. Even they cannot easily access any other application. So that is like a lot of issues that I faced if anyone is using Mac. But it's a good thing in this class we don't have any person that using Mac. So I'm glad with that. Next question is, let me check how many of you joined through web. Almost everyone, almost, except Rizarib and Farzana Mona and Beauty. Okay, these three person joined, have installed this GoToMeeting and then joined this classes, right? So I will prefer that if you install that GoToMeeting, because well, when you will be in the trouble, I'll be able to help you only if you install that software in your computer, and if you give me the control. There is a way you can give me the control from your computer, so that I can like do some, like show you that how the course to check, to do some course or checking something. I can help you in that way as well. But for that, I need you, all of you, to install that GoToMeeting in your computer. And next time when you join the session, please join the session with that software. It will automatically open with that software, no problem. You just need to install that. Okay, so that is done, because most probably we'll have enough time today to install the Java. So that means that next session we don't need to do any installation. We'll start our session with that automation in the Java. Okay, so let's do this one. Okay, so let's not start with this slide, because it's already 8:14, means that 8:15. So let's take a break. After the break, we can start from here, and also we'll install the software today. We just need to install one software, and we just need to download one software. Okay, two things we'll do, but after the break. Okay.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so is it Nasita or someone, I think, joined the help session on Sunday and asked me about that 508? Was that Suraya or Nasita or Didi? Who asked that question? No one?
It was me.
That was you, Beauty, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I told you to remind me on Tuesday about this one, so you didn't remind me. I just remember that I supposed to show you this application. Okay, so let me show you this application. So this is about the pivot testing that I'm talking right now.
JAWS Professional, JAWS version 2022.2207.25 ILM.
Can you hear something?
JAWS dialog. Welcome to JAWS. Please close all applications and press enter to restart your computer.
So this
Microsoft PowerPoint dash left bracketed surface.pptx right bracket slide 1.
it means that wherever you have your cursor, it's basically talking back, and then let me check if it's still running. No, it's not running. Let me check this application if they have this option for JAWS here or not. Where is my cursor? Here. So as I mentioned earlier, that fiber testing is for to test the application. If that application is compatible for
JAWS Professional.
So basically, if you see, it's when I
JAWS dialog. Welcome to JAWS. Please close all applications and press enter to restart your computer and run in 40-minute demo mode. OK button to activate. Press space bar.
Okay, so basically it's asking me to restart the computer. I'm not going to do that because otherwise it's gonna shut down everything. So I'm not going to do that. But this is the application when you run this application. After that, when you keep your cursor mouse over to any place, it will talk back to you that where your cursor is right now. If this application have that option, develop. If not, but you have to test this website, then you have to mention that where the issue is.
My store dash Google Chrome.
You see that it's talking. I don't know. Okay, so it stopped. So I don't know what happened. Last time when I installed that, it was working fine, but this time I think I have to download something like full version and then it will work. Okay, no problem. So the thing is, when you run that application, after when you run that, you have to keep your cursor to check if it talk about this menu or not. It will tell the main menu omen section, something like that. So it will give you the idea. The people who are not able to see this application, still they will be able to access this application. Okay, and that is what fiber testing is. You got the idea? Not sure that. Okay. Okay. I'm to run it again and see if it is workable.
JAWS Professional. JAWS version 2022.2207. My store dash Google Chrome. My store.
You see. My store.
JAWS dialog. Welcome to JAWS. Please close all applications and press enter to restart your computer and run in 40-minute demo mode.
I don't know.
My store dash Google Chrome. JAWS version 2.
It says that my store. You see that here? When I keep my cursor here, it's saying that my store. Okay, so for each and every thing here, you can see there is a way that it will talk back. So you can also check it here, what it will talk back. Alt is my store. Okay, so it will talk back these things. Okay, I'll check that later. No problem. I'll do that again. I have to do that again. Okay, so let's move forward to our slides. Did I start the recording? Let's start it. So we understood that why there are like different programming languages we have. Then one more program I forgot to mention, Ruby. Ruby is another programming language. So there's another program. These are the programming languages, but from all of this, we will work on Java. And this is the benefits of the Java that might ask if there is a like less possibility, but still you need to know that what is Java programming is, and then why we will use Java. Java is open source. Java is a secure. Java is a high-level programming language, object-oriented programming language. So we'll learn that two terms that I just mentioned later. Okay. JDK. So when you need to work with the Java, at first you need to install this JDK in your computer. Okay, so we'll install that today. So JDK is the thing that will perform in the background. So you will not see that, but this is the application which will run in the background of your system. Basically, you will write the code, but how that code will work? That's the thing. So let's say you need to go to the China. Let's say you need to go to the China, and in China, you don't understand or you don't know anything about the Chinese language, but you need to go, you need to spend like 10 days or 30 days. So how you will survive over there? Any idea? No one wants to go to China? Let's say about Mexico, and you don't understand Spanish. Then what you'll do? No one wants to go to Mexico either? Okay, so let's go back to this China again. So let's say I'm sending one of you to China, and you have to stay there for 30 days. Okay, yes, okay. Now I got some. Okay. So I didn't see that before, but some people answered that already in the chat box. So that is sign language, yes, but let's say that you are in a market, and also you need to understand this sign language. You have to learn that language, right? So learn the language. So how you learn that? They have like 48,000 characters. Like in English, we have like 26 alphabets only, but in Chinese they have like 48,000. That I know. I think I'm not sure. We have to Google it. Use translator. That is one solution that can be like a translator. So that I will have one person who will translate from my language to Chinese and from Chinese to English, right? So translator is one of the person that I can use to stay there for 30 days. Okay, so translator, right? Here JDK is also work as like the same way. The programming, the Java, the programming language we are going to learn, I just mentioned it's a high level programming language, right? High level means that it deals with your program, right? Deals with your code. So this is high level programming language. Now, then to which person this Java will talk? That's why we need this JDK, right? So that is the question. So where this JDK comes from, and why we need this? So let's say that we already know about this our computer, right? We are using this computer, and we can type something. We can type anything in this PowerPoint. We can create also Microsoft Word. We can in Microsoft Word we can type something. We can do a lot of things, right? So the thing is, whatever you do, your computer doesn't understand anything of that. If you're typing here, for example, A, your computer doesn't understand A. Your computer only understands something binary of this A. So this A converts to a different language, and then only your computer understand this, whatever you wrote here. Okay, and that is we call machine language. Your computer is a machine, right? Your computer is a machine, and that we call machine language, that the machine can only understand machine language. And Java is a high level programming language. Now how they will talk, because these are two different languages they are talking. Machines are talking in machine language, Java is talking in high level language. This JDK is basically works as a like middleman. This JDK works as like a middleman, which helps them to communicate, so that the Java can communicate with your computer, with your machine, and your machine also can communicate with the Java. So that's why we need this JDK installed in our computer. So we will install that today. You got it? Any question here? No questions? Okay. Now let's check this one. So the JDK is a crucial platform element for building Java application. At its core is a Java compiler. So compiler is the one. So JDK, basically we use the JDK and call that as a like compiler and interpreter. Compiler or interpreter. Okay, it will compile and also it will interpret your language from high level to low level. Low level means machine language, or machine language to high level language. JDK is one of the three main technology packages in Java programming, along with the JVM and JRE. So you will understand this line later, but let me give you some basic. JDK is basically a combination of JVM and JRE. Okay, so it's basically giving a virtual machine. It creates a virtual machine, Java virtual machine, and also it gives us the runtime environment so that we can run our program. So you will understand this one later. If you don't understand right now, it's also fine. Every JDK includes a Java compiler. The compiler is the software program at talking raw .java files, plain text, and rendering them into executable class files. So that I was talking about. So it's basically take your input and translate that and send it to that computer or your machine to do that job. Let's say that I want to add two numbers, 10 and 12, and I want to use Java to do that. This Java programming language to do that. So when I'll do that, so Java programming language, what it will do is I will just add 10 and 12 and I'll just hit run to see the result. But in the background, it will send that to the computer, the machine, and the machine will calculate that and send the result back to the Java. So there's a lot of things are going on in the background. And even though you don't know and you don't have any idea what's going on in the background, but we'll learn slowly. Okay, so basically JDK we need to get this environment in our computer so that we can work with the Java. Simple. JDK, this basically gives you the environment so that we can work with the Java in our computer. If you don't understand, if you think it's a very complex thing, don't go to that part. It's okay. Usually they also don't ask anything about the JDK or JRE, something like that. It's just a JDK that you just need to install to work with Java. And JDK is basically like a compiler interpreter that works as like compiler interpreter so that it can talk with your machine. Okay. So what do we need for automation? We need a couple of things. First of all, Java. That's why we need to install the JDK. Then we will use Selenium in Java to automate our browser, like whatever we can perform here. For example, after opening this page, I need to click on sign in, or I need to type something in this text box, or I need to click on this button. Whatever you can do, whatever you can see here that you can do, you can do the same thing using the Selenium. Okay, for that we need to use that Selenium in Java. We'll do that. Next thing, browser. So basically you need a browser, right? So every application that you are going to access, the basic thing you need, browser. Without the browser you will not be able to access this website, right? And last thing, you need a driver. So until this part, I think you don't have any question. Like we are going to use Java programming language, and inside the Java we'll use this Selenium to automate our application, to do something on automation. We also need the browser. And then what is driver? Driver is a kind of like a middleman between your program and the browser. Okay, it's kind of like without the driver you will not be able to open the browser, you will not be able to do anything without this driver. So driver is the most important thing, that is basically working as like a middleman between your program and browser. Okay, so you will be very familiar with this driver, because all the time you have to work with this driver. All the time, whatever you do in your page, you have to work with the driver. Okay, and mostly we use Chrome browser for our automation. Even though for the developers they also use the Chrome browser. So if you don't have the Chrome browser, so I will suggest you to download the Chrome browser, because mostly I will show you all that like automation thing in Chrome browser. Okay, but if you have a Firefox, if you have a Microsoft page, you can also use that. It's up to you, but it's preferred like if you use the Chrome browser, because Chrome browser developer tool is very powerful than others. That's why. Okay, almost done. Almost done. Okay. Now Selenium. This is a very common thing that in the interview they might ask you that what is Selenium? Till now we know that Selenium is a tool, and I also told you that don't think that this is a tool, this is a library, like uh, think like the public library, right? In the public library, if you go to the public library to read any book, you will go and go to the specific location and get the book and read the book, right? So book is one of the thing that is there in that library. But what if in that library they don't have that book? Can you request them to get that book? Can you request them in the library that can you please get that book for me? I want to read that book. You can do that, right? So you can do that and they can manage that book for you. So this library thing is almost the same concept. Java is the main thing. In the Java, we don't have all the libraries. We don't have all the books here. So we need to include that. Selenium is something like third-party thing that we have to include here to do our automation part. Is it getting very hard to understand? Kind of. Okay. Okay, so let's not talk about the Selenium library. So just think like Selenium is the thing that we need to use in Java to automate our browser. Okay, just only this thing. Then you will understand the library later. I'll show you the library again. Now, as I said that Selenium is for automating web application for testing intentions, right? So if I need to test this application, I can do it manually. I can also do this testing by using automation. But if I need to do that in automation, I need to use Selenium. Okay. Next, Selenium is an open source library. So this is one of the advantages of Selenium. Selenium is an open source library that automates web browsers. So this web browser, it supports almost all the web browsers like Google Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge. Then let me add this here: Chrome, Firefox, then Safari from the Mac, MS Edge. They also have that Internet Explorer, but right now I don't think that they have it anymore. Okay, these are the common browser that we use. So if you need to test your application in different browser, so you might need to use only these three and you're fine. Okay. Okay, so this Selenium supports almost all the browsers. That's why Selenium is very popular. It delivers a single interface that allows you to write test script in programming languages so it also supports different programming languages like Ruby, Java, Node.js, PHP, Perl, Python, and C#. So it's supported in a lot of programming languages. That's why Selenium is a popular automation tool. Got it? You got the advantages of Selenium. This is one of the it's not like important, but sometimes they ask that what are the advantages of Selenium. So it's open source, it supports almost all the browsers, so you have to mention the name of the browsers, then you also have to mention the programming language that it supports. And because this is open source and it also have a huge community to support it. Yes, that's the question. That's the confusion right now. You have it like a tool or library. So till now, we are understanding this Selenium as like a tool. But by the time we'll use this Selenium, you will understand this is not a tool. This is a library. Okay. But right now, just think that this is a tool. Got it? Okay. Any question from Selenium advantages? No. Okay. Okay. Again, these are the advantages: open source, web-based automation testing. So this Selenium only you can automate the web-based application. Let's say that you have an application, for example, any application, Skype. Let's say we already know about the Skype, right? Skype is a tool. Skype is a software that we can use to call someone. If someone have a Skype ID, you can call, right? So Skype is a tool. We cannot automate that tool, that software. Okay, we can only automate if that application is a web application. Web application means this one. This is a web application. This application you can access through by use browser. Any browser is fine, but by browser. So this is we call an application, but web application. If you remember that, we already had this slide before, right? Web application. This one, right? I believe I changed it, right? You didn't see that before. I changed it because I updated it. So these are the operating system that we call this operating system: Mac, Windows, Android, iOS. These are operating system. These are application software that you need to install in your computer, right? Install means that you have to install browser, this Firefox, Microsoft Office, Opera, Google Chrome. These all you have to install in your computer. And whatever you see here on the right side, you don't need to install. You just need to use any of the browser and you can access these applications. So that's why we call this one as a web application. Any question on this one? Anything that you didn't understand? So till now everything is smooth. You are understanding everything without any issue, which is a very good thing. So it's supposed on multiple OS, means that different operating system you can use this Selenium with a multiple browser, as I said, that Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge, Internet Explorer, multiple programming languages like Java, Ruby, Python, different programming languages it supports. Multiple frameworks. We'll come to that one later. Almost after like a month maybe you will understand this one. Multiple framework, and this is a open source. Open source basically means that you don't need to buy to use this software, right? So it's open source. Do we know about that open source and proprietary? Anyone who doesn't understand this proprietary means? What does this proprietary means and open source means? Okay, so the open source means that you can go to that page, that application page, and download that, and you can use that. And proprietary means that you have to buy that software to use that. For example, that JAWS, right? I did install that. It says that I can use that JAWS for 40 hours only for demo. That's it. But after 40 hours, they will charge me. If I need to use that, they will charge me. Same thing for like Microsoft Office. If you need to use the Microsoft Office, you have to pay almost like $100 to get that Microsoft Office in your to install that in your system, right? But some other softwares are already there, which is almost like Microsoft Office, and that are free, like Open Office or something like that. That are like free. So open source means that you don't need to pay anything, and proprietary means that if you need to use that software, you have to buy. Okay. Okay, Selenium components. So this Selenium have 4 parts. Mostly you will work on this one, Selenium WebDriver. You don't need to worry about these other other 3, because in Selenium you're going to work here in Selenium WebDriver. Selenium IDE was a very old tool, and that was like a plug and play thing. Let's say that it's something like this. So Selenium IDE is installed here in this software, in this Firefox, and now if I click on play button, whatever I do in this page, it will record my actions, and then you can stop it, and then after that you can play that again. So that is kind of like very simple thing. It's play and plug and play kind of like thing. Once it's record, you can play that all the time, but there is a limitation. You cannot modify anything. You cannot like do some extensive thing on that. You cannot do any like conditional thing on that. So that's why we are not using Selenium IDE. We need to use Selenium WebDriver. By using that, we can use any condition or something like that. Okay. Selenium RC, executing a script written in any program language using JavaScript, and here in Selenium Grid used for cross-platform testing at the same time in multiple browsers. So here in Selenium RC is basically, it's called remote control. If you want to run your script in different computer, you can use that Selenium RC. And Selenium Grid is basically if you need to run your script in different browser, in different machine, we can use this Selenium Grid. But these are very old concept. Now we have like some applications we can use to do this job. So we don't need this. Usually we don't use these things anymore. We have different application, different websites where we can perform all these things. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, Jenkins is the one. You see this Jenkins. So you will be performing your job remotely in Jenkins. So you don't need this RC. You don't need this RC. And for the Selenium Grid, if you need to perform in different, we can also for this one we can also use what is called browser stacks. So that is a different application. I will show you that later, but that is a different application that you can use for to test your same test case in different browser or different platform. Platform is that operating system. So because I said that we need to work with the Selenium WebDriver, so this is the Selenium WebDriver. The app, the browser it supports Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, Safari, Google Chrome, Ghost Driver, Opera browser, also Microsoft Edge driver. Okay, Microsoft Edge as well. So you just need to think like it supports almost all the browsers. So mostly we need to work with Google Chrome, not any other browser except Google Chrome. But if you want, you can also do that. It's up to you basically. Okay. Then this is how the Selenium WebDriver works. If you remember that I mentioned this one here, the driver, right? How this driver works. Basically, you need to talk something, right? Java need to talk with your browser. So how it will talk? It will talk with this driver. If you see this picture here, if you see this picture here, give me a second. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so let's start again. So I was talking about the web driver, the driver basically, the driver. Why we need this driver? So in the previous slide, I was talking about this driver. Driver is basically the thing which it will kind of work as like a bridge between your browser and Java program. So whatever you will write the script, it will be between your browser and your script. Okay, so this is the picture basically, the visualize. So this is the place where you'll be writing your code, and then this is the place where it will place the driver in between this browser here, and this browser is basically talking about the web server, which is mainly the server of the company. Okay, so if you don't understand this web server right now, but which is fine, if you just understand only these two parts, then that it is enough. This is your program where you will write your code, and this is your browser. So between these two, it need to talk with, because this two is a like independent thing. It doesn't know anything about that, right? So that's why we need this driver to talk between these two. Okay. And last thing, what type of testing can be automated with Selenium? These all the things are done with the Selenium. Mostly we use the Selenium, we do the automation for regression testing. Okay. But also we can perform end-to-end testing. We can connect with the database and then perform the end-to-end testing. We can perform the system testing, is basically the checking the system after the integration is everything is working fine or not. Sometimes we say the performance testing to check how your system is performing. If it is like taking the user input, how many user input it take at the same time, so we can perform that kind of testing as well. And compatibility testing is basically like it's checking that if your script, if that application is running in all different browsers or not. Like this application, it might not the same way it's showing in the Firefox. It can be, it's possible. So that's why I need to test in Chrome, I need to test it in Firefox, so I'm performing compatibility testing. Okay, so these are the testing you can perform in Selenium. Any question? Okay, so I got only one no, which is means that I will go with no. So it means that you don't have any question and you understood whatever we did today, which is a very good thing. Okay, so we almost covered all of these things. Now it's time for installing. First of all, we'll install JDK. To install the JDK, I'll share the link with all of you. Java 17. We're going to install.
Excuse me.
Yes,
So my system, I don't know if that matters, but just want to know anyways. 32 bits, does that matter?
It matters when we will be installing 64-bit. All the time you have to get a 32-bit. Whatever the
So,
application will download, there will be like two versions. One is for
uh-huh.
32-bit and 64-bit. So you always have to download 32-bit. So I will always download 64-bit because most of the our laptops have like 64-bit nowadays. But because you have 32-bit, but I will tell you also separately that you have to download that one. Okay.
Okay, that's okay, right? I mean, I can still work. That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you.
no problem. So while I'm here, I should be go Oracle, Java, Oracle Java download. We'll be downloading Java 17. We'll be downloading Java 17. Okay. So I will share this link with all of you in the chat box now, so that you can follow me, follow whatever I'm doing here. So once you use that link and go to this page, you'll see Java 19. Java 17 is, I think, already selected with that link. If it is not, click on this Java 17. Then I believe we all are using Windows. So click on Windows. Now here in Windows, in the Java 17, they only have 64, but I believe that 64 will also work for 32 as well. If not, then you have to go back and get the previous version. Let me check Java 8. Let me check Java 8. Java 8. Where is this Java 8 is? For Java 8, this is the application that you have to use. This is JDK, yeah, JDK. Copy the address. So this is only for Safrin because her laptop is in 32-bit. So Safrin, please go ahead and use this one for Java 8 because I don't think that you will be able to install this new version of Java 17. But just give it a try with installing the Java 17. I think it might work, or if not, then just go ahead and install Java 8. Okay, but before you install the Java 8, let's try the Java 17 first. Okay, so Java 17 is here. So I already shared that link with all of you. So what you need to do is you just need to click on Windows, and once you click on Windows, you will see this 64 installer. We need to download this one. We need to click here on this one. Once you click this one, it will automatically start downloading. You see that here because I'm using Chrome. That's why it will automatically start installing here at the bottom. See? So not installing, it's downloading. Are you with me, everyone? Downloading this JDK?
So which one did you click to? Which one?
Installer. Click
The
on
middle one, wherever you are.
yes.
Yeah, I went to Windows and then wherever your pointer is.
Yes.
Okay, middle one. Okay.
So it's an installer. We need
Oh,
to
installer. I see. Okay. X64 installer. Okay.
yes. But I have a doubt that if you will be able to install that or not because this is specific to 64-bit. That's why. But still, you can give it a try.
How do I know? Yeah, it's saying 1 minute left and stuff
So
like
it's
that. So
downloading. So it's downloading. It's fine. So once it's
okay.
download, I will show you that how to install. I will show the step by step.
Okay.
So I hope you are already done with the download, right? Anyone left with the
Uh,
download?
it's 25 seconds left.
Okay, no problem then. I will wait that 25 seconds. Are you still downloading? Okay, that's fine.
7 seconds left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So 0 seconds left means it's done, right? Okay,
No,
it's done.
it's not done
Yeah.
yet. 0 seconds is
So
like still downloading something.
it's done. Yeah, it's done. So
Okay, so 1 second. Sonic, are you done? Not yet. Okay. Let me know when you're done, then I will start.
So does that mean it will work on mine?
Uh, Not sure yet because
Not sure yet. Okay, okay. I see.
we
Okay, that's fine.
just download it.
Okay.
We need to see if when you try to install it, it will tell you that it's not compatible.
Okay.
Monica, is it still downloading? Oh, okay. That's fine. Mm, So, Safin, you are using Windows 7. So, how old your laptop is?
How old? I would say 5, 7 years. 7 or 8 years.
7, 1, 2. So, why didn't you upgrade it to Windows 10? It was a free upgrade.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I didn't think about that. Everything was working fine, but if I need to, I can try. I never thought of that because I would think that my PC might get slower. So it was working fine. So that's the reason I didn't do that. But I can still do it, right?
No, it was free until certain time. Now, if
Oh,
you
I see.
do that, you have to pay for that.
Oh, I see.
It's fine. If you feel like your computer is still fast, then you don't need to do that.
Yeah, I'll see down the road if I need to, I'll upgrade it. I'll see if it. Yeah. So far there wasn't any issue, so we'll
So,
see.
my laptop is also like 8 years old, but I'm using Windows 10 and it's supporting, till now it's supporting good. I changed a lot. I added a lot of things here. Like it was user at first it was like 4 gig of RAM. I extended it to 16 gig.
Hmm.
So it was like a regular hard drive. So I changed it to like SSD. That's why the performance of my laptop is like little different. Even though it's old, I'm getting a good performance here.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I'll see. Let's see how it works today after install. If it does that, then I'll see what I
So
can
the thing
do.
is, you will not be able to download or install a lot of things because you are still using 32 gig. That is the reason.
Hmm. I see. Okay. Okay, then I guess I'll have to think about it. I'll
That's
do
fine. That's
something.
fine. So
Let's
if
see.
you're still able to work on this laptop, then don't buy it right now.
Right.
Because if you're in a project, they will give you a laptop. So when you need to,
Exactly. Right, right. Mm-hmm.
it will be very less time you just spend your time on your personal laptop. You'll be busy with
Hmm.
your work, so it's fine.
Right, right.
Morning, are you done? Okay, so let's start now. So once you have downloaded the software, If you are using Google Chrome, then just click here on this one, then it will automatically start to install that application, that software, that JDK in your computer.
Just click on Google Chrome.
Not the Google Chrome, that downloaded
Oh,
application
of the
on the
application.
computer.
Okay. Okay.
And if you don't see that, what you can do, you can go to your downloads folder from your
Yeah.
computer, and then you will see the very first thing in
Yeah.
that list.
Yeah,
And
it does say for me the version of this file is not compatible with the version of Windows you are running.
okay,
So,
yeah.
yep.
So you
Yeah.
have to use the second link to download that software.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so you can download that one, and in the meantime, the installation process is the same. So I'll show you that, no problem. Okay, so now I got a confirmation here from the Windows that this is a like from Java. Do I need to install or not? So it's a yes or no. So I have to click on yes. Once I click on yes, it will start installing. If you're able to see that, it will start installing. It will give me this window that is asking that welcome to the installation. So you just need to click on next. You just need to click on next, and it will install. It's a very simple installation.
So for me, I see here Windows. I don't. Where should I click to install? Because all of these are showing 64. I don't see any
Not
30.
no, not 64. I think if you go down, there is one thing you'll see 86, right? The second last.
Okay, for the first one, second last, 86. Yes, Windows 86 installer. Yeah.
That is the one you have to download. This 86 is basically means that for 32 bit.
Okay. So do I say I received an accept the Oracle technology? I
Yes.
reviewed.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so it
And then
says that Java. Okay, go ahead.
no, that's fine. You're good.
Okay. So now it says that in my system, it says that Java SE development kit is not successfully installed. Just click on close. You don't need to click on next yet. There is nothing next text remaining. It's just like when you click on next step, it will take you to that website. So you don't need to do that. Just click on close. That's it. Once you click on close, your JDK installation is done. Now it's time for the verification. So how many of you have done with that installation? Or let's say that how many of you still need time to install this JDK?
Okay. So mine one says Java C Development Kit 17.05 successfully installed. So
Just
click next to
no,
access tutorial,
no,
or
no.
I have to close it.
Don't click on next. Just click on close. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So once you install, now you need to verify that if it is installed properly or not. So two way you can install. You can check it. Either you can go to the settings, then you have to check that in that apps. In apps, it will show you the list of applications, the software that you have installed in your computer. It will show you all of them here. In some place, you will see Java SE development kit 17 point something like 0.5, 0.3, 0.1. So I have three version of 17 here. So in your case, it will be like 1705. That is the newest version that also I just installed, right? You see that the date today, 10/25, 2022. So I installed it today. So you'll see this one here
Why we need to check there in the app section?
in the apps. Yes. When you click on the apps,
Okay.
Then you'll see the list of applications or software that you already have installed in your computer. Scroll down, go to this J section, and in the J section you'll find Java.
Okay. All right.
Another way we'll check that as well. That is in Windows button, just click on this Windows button and here type CMD. Okay, so here click on this Windows button and type CMD. Then select this command prompt. This is kind of like black screen. Select this command prompt, then it will show this kind of window with something written here, like Microsoft Windows or something like that. Can you see it? Okay, once you are here, then type Java space dash version. Java space dash version and hit enter. Then it will show you the version here 17.0.5. In my case, it's showing different because I changed it to work with something else. So that's why I changed it. But for your case, it will be 17.0.5.
So we need to go to the file and then where I need to write the CMD in.
You see this Windows button here on the corner, left corner, bottom left corner, start
Yeah.
button.
Yeah.
Click on the start, and here, after clicking on the start, just type CMD.
Okay. Now I need to what I need to type like the Java.
Yeah, so here you have to type Java space dash version, version. Got it?
Yeah. Java space. Yes. And then type enter.
Enter. Yes. After you type it, hit enter, then you will be able to see this something like Java version, something like this, right?
In my this command could not error could not find or load min plus verification version.
Mm. Okay, so it's Nasita, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm making the presenter. Can you please share your screen?
Uh, like
You
in
have
this
to, if you
yeah.
see the go-to meeting where you can see all the people join and the names, you'll see the mic, camera, and then screen also, and the lead.
Just a second.
Can I ask you, in the meantime, it's asking me to Oracle account sign in. Should I create an account?
Oh, okay. Okay. So,
I think mine is getting complicated.
no. Yours is not complicated because most of the time we deal with the 64-bit. That's why we have the 64-bit. Let me
Go
check.
to
Just give me a second. Let me check that if I have that opportunity with it.
Right,
And you don't need to install that, and then you don't need to create that account.
right. That's why I didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm, right.
So do you think if I get the Windows 10, that should solve the problem?
Might be or might not be, because in your case, you also need to install 64-bit operating system, but you only have 32-bit. That is also one more thing.
Okay. So it has to be 64-bit, then it will be all good. Yeah, I can check because there are, yeah, I'll see. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, let me check. Okay, so instead of so I can also do that, but instead of doing that, it will be better if you download it from Oracle, because it will be safe. Okay, Safin. So what you can do, you can just create an account. It will take some time, like extra time. I know that,
Okay.
but it will be better if it is safe.
Okay.
But if you're trying to download that aid from some other third party website, so you don't know that what is inside that, right?
Right, 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 right.
So it will
Yeah.
be better, it will be safe if you just expand your like 5 minutes to do that and just get that
Mm.
aid. Usually, I have all the software that is 64-bit. That's the problem.
Okay, okay. Um, okay, just that's fine. You guys go ahead and just give me a minute. I'll be right back and I can check what I can do, okay, before I create this account. So you guys go ahead. That's fine.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Nasita. So what the thing you miss here after Java in this space, before the version you have to put a dash, that is minus sign. So just type it again, Java. Nasita, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, I'm just hearing
Yeah.
them.
So no, don't click on stop sharing. Open that command line. Open that command line.
Just a second. Actually, my microphone is not working.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Could you please repeat what you what you asked me?
Open that command from the black screen again. Show me that black screen.
Okay, I'll just go to the black
And
screen.
here type Java,
Yes,
right? Java
Java
space
space
dash
dash.
version.
Okay,
Enter. You see
okay.
that?
Got it. Yes, yeah. Now it's
Yeah,
everything is fine. Okay, thank you.
no problem. Is there anyone else who needs help?
Yeah, I think I need help. I have turned in installation. After install, I couldn't see the app.
Okay, let me share. Make it a presenter. So you can share your screen now. Okay, so you see that app here on the left side, up under the system, Bluetooth, network, personalization, there is apps. Click on that. You see this one here, install apps. Click on install apps. Now scroll down. You see here, Java. It's already installed. So you can also verify that by using that command line. So click on this start here. You see that 4 box, that is a start Windows box. No, yeah, this is also already down, so you can see that in application side. So if you take your cursor down in the start button here, no, the start button of your Windows button here. You see that Windows button? Down, down, scroll down, not scroll down, take your cursor down. More. You see that the place where, yes, here in this line, the first one, there is a search icon. You see that search icon, then the folder, Microsoft Edge, the settings. Yes, take your cursor down, more down, take your cursor down, more, and take left. No, take left. Take your cursor down, down, down. No, cursor down. Take your cursor down. Don't scroll. You don't need to scroll. Take your cursor down all the way to the bottom. Yes. Now take it to the left. The first one. Yes. Click here and then type CMD. Then select this one. Open. Now type Java space. No, Java space dash dash minus sign version. Enter. You see that? So version is also showing here. So that's mean that your installation is done. Is there anyone who need help to install this? No one? Okay, so if no one needs any help, then we're done for today. We will install, we will not install, that is basically we will download that application, one more application on Thursday, and after that we'll be good to go. We'll be able to write our code. Till now, we just need to download this JDK, and I hope you all of you have done this one. Is there anyone have any question from our today's session or anything that you didn't understand?
Yeah, so this is not like today's section, but the I want to know about your health session class. You told that you will show us about how can we make that recipe the RTM in Jira.
Oh, yes,
Uh,
yes.
yes, and then I have like in the homeworks, I don't answer that question also. What details we need to do for writing creating the bug in Jira.
Yes,
So
that is very simple. So when you go to Jira board, click on create, and then from this create, select this bar, and after you select this bar, you will see a lot of things there, right? So you have to insert the information, summary, then description, environment, severity, assigning, priority, bills. You just need to mention all these names. That's it.
oh, okay, so I need to just mention for that questions. If anyone asks me, so I need to just mention that like that type like the summary. That
Yes,
is right. Okay, that
yes.
is the answer of that one. Okay, got it.
And for
Okay,
Babel,
okay. I'm back, Zakir. So,
yes.
so you all just downloaded the Java, right? Did I miss anything else? Because I was away.
No. We just did the Java. That's it. Nothing else.
Okay, okay. So I think I might have to transfer my laptop, and I might have a Windows 10 and a 64. So I have your lecture here. So I think I'll be able to download it myself, right?
Yeah, it's a very simple process to download it.
Right. Okay. Okay. So I'll
Because
do that.
only for
That's
the
not a
Java
problem.
8, because only for the Java 8, it asks you to do that registration. But after the Java 8, it doesn't ask anything.
No, I mean, if I have the 64 bit, then I'll
Then you will be able to
install the
download
Java
anything.
17, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I thought you said we were gonna download something else too.
Yes, we'll download one more software that where we'll write our code. So we'll download this later, like on Thursday.
Okay, okay, that's good then. So okay, so then I can be ready too. Okay,
Okay, yeah,
inshallah.
that's inshallah. And Nasita, the thing is, I totally forgot to show that the RTM, the test plan, how to create that in Jira board. So the first thing in the next session, I will show you. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Anything else? Anyone?
No, not for today. Not that. I'm fine.
Okay. Okay, thank you all. Thank you for joining and hope to see you on Thursday again. And yes, Sachin, so if you are